Okay, great. Well, I just want to go ahead and, oh, can we turn off that entry chime?
Sure we can. Hi, Lynn.
Excellent. So anyway, I just want to go ahead and welcome everybody to Breaking the Mask, where we're going to really focus on how to boldly claim your business, build a business that supports your lifestyle, and being able to really share your unique gifts. What I want to just really dive into is who Ingrid and I are, so that you know why we're having this conversation, and really why we're wanting to share this with you today. So Ingrid, I'm going to let you go ahead and just share a little bit about who you are and what brought you to really wanting to share this with everybody today.
Sure. Thanks, Lauren. Hi, everybody. I'm Ingrid Edstrom. So far, I know most of you, which is really fun. I have Polymath Bookkeeping with my fantastic team here in Ashland, Oregon, and we really like to focus on making the world a better place built on a foundation of thriving small businesses. That is our vision. We truly believe that if everyone in the world was following their passion and doing something they love, that the world would be a better place, and small business is a huge part of that. Building communities of people who are following their dreams and their passions and voting with our dollars. All of those things contribute to the kind of community that we're trying to build, that I want to live in. And so that is what I'm doing here. My purpose is to empower your passion as a small business owner. And by helping other accountants and bookkeepers and other small business owners help more small business owners, that brings that to a larger level. So I want to thank each of you so much for being here today and giving me an opportunity to live that passion and spread some of the really fun ideas that I've been picking up along the way.
Cool. And so what I'm just putting in the chat is I would love to hear from other people what their passion is, because that's part of what today's call is about, is really breaking the mask. And how I got to be here is I've been a mental health therapist since 1986. I worked with high achieving individuals who were stuck. They were getting in their own way, whether it was with post-traumatic stress disorder, addictions. Those were some of my specialties. And I recognized that after doing it for so many years, around 2009, I didn't want to focus on the problems any longer. I really wanted to shift to the possibilities. And I knew it was time for me to step in a different direction because things had become a little bit too formulaic. I loved my clients. However, I just didn't feel like I was stretching myself any longer. And that's when I looked for what my best next move was and became aware of coaching. And coaching was exactly what I felt that missing piece was for me, because it focused on the possibilities and tapping into the potential instead of staying stuck on the problems and why the problems got there in the first place. So I went ahead and started to change away from this business that I had with my husband, where we worked side by side for 12 years, and moved in this direction of business coaching. It took about a year and a half for me to do that. And what I realized was that there were things that I knew as far as helping my clients get unstuck. I was great about that. However, some things about marketing, sales, just never learned those things when I was going through school and had to really take a deep dive. And that's when I started working with a business coach myself to really move in that direction. And as you may know, with being therapists, as a therapist, I was really very private. I didn't share that much about myself with people. So shifting to coaching and social media and stuff like that, I had to figure out how to be transparent, how to get past everything about my life being personal and private, and let people see that vulnerable side about myself, because I definitely had to look good. I didn't want anybody to know anything that I might be struggling with. And that was part of what I really had to figure out for myself, is how to become more transparent when it's purposeful and when it's really going to help somebody move forward. And that's really part of why I wanted to have this call with Ingrid, because I've seen so many high achieving, gifted entrepreneurs, and they really have this mask. They feel sometimes that no matter what level of authority or expertise they're at, that there is that they feel like a fake or fraud at times. And Ingrid and I have had this discussion so many times about people hiding behind a mask, not letting people really see who they are. And we wanted to really show you that we want to know who you are. We want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, just like we've had to have that with us, because it actually deepens our relationships with the people we're connected with. It doesn't hinder it like we sometimes think it does. So that's part of why we're doing this today. And this is for you if you know that you are afraid of being called out as a fake or a fraud, and you are tired of hiding behind that mask because it's energy draining. You also know the power of your work and don't want to be a best kept secret anymore. It's time for people to be able to find you. And maybe for you, because you might be in a service-based business, you serve others, so you really take what they want from you to heart. And you've made some compromises in your business, so you've veered off your path. And it's draining. Your business turned into something different than you expected. So we want to show you how to be able to veer back onto your path again and really connect with what your purpose is and what your dream business is, as opposed to somebody else's. What I will say is there is a ton of information and advice out there. You could follow everybody's advice, and it's going to turn into something different than what you expected for yourself. You're going to be tapped into why things aren't working for you, why it feels hard, why there's a struggle, and it's just not going to be your business. So we want to show you how to take your values and what's important to you and take them off the back burner and really put them right out there in front. So you're claiming a business that deeply serves your clients, but also supports your life instead of draining it. So that's part of what we're going to cover and what our mission is. But the points that we're really going to get into is looking at why goals just aren't enough when you're someone who's on a mission, and looking at how to be able to take a stand for what you believe in and your purpose instead of faltering and having doubt come up. Looking at what that doubt and resistance is and ways to get past it. And then we're going to show you how to really take it further if you're interested in some deeper training. So Ingrid, anything that you want to add in before we get into really the body of the talk today?
I think the only thing that's I really want to make sure to point out right now, we've got a couple great comments in our chat window in response to Lauren's, what is your passion? Lynn says, I love making other people's dreams come true. If someone has the passion to start a business, I want to make sure they succeed. And that is beautiful. Thank you so much, Lynn. And Tracy from Tabulated Consulting says, I enjoy teaching, knowledge sharing, networking, and empowering others to know that they can do whatever they want to do. No matter the circumstance, age, or anything, their dream is possible. And that is so powerful. Thank you very much to Tracy and Lynn, both of you, for sharing your passions with us. That is why we're here.
Absolutely. And so I'm putting another question in the chat is, we'd love to know what your biggest challenge is with growing your business, because we want to be able to give you some of those breakthrough solutions today as well. You're here, your time is valuable. I am so honored that you've carved some time out to be here with Ingrid and I. And if there's a burning question, we definitely want to be able to touch base with that. So with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead and dive in as to why I believe that goals are not the best thing when you're a mission-driven entrepreneur. And I want to say that there's no right or wrong, first of all, that you have to do what's right for you. And there's some people whose goals are absolutely the right thing for them. They live by goals that drives them forward. And I fully want to acknowledge that, commend that. But when you're an entrepreneur and you tend to be more of a creative, then goals might not be your thing. And the goals that I'm specifically talking about has to do with SMART goals. Those are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. And what I've seen from mission-driven entrepreneurs is we're not necessarily looking to do something that's realistic or that is going to necessarily be achievable. We don't know if we can achieve what we feel is our mission, but we have this burning desire to do it anyway. And part of the reason that goals don't work is because they have some inherent flaws. They tend to be very static. So they are either where you're succeeding at them or you're failing. Very little black. They're very black and white with very little gray area in between. And I know that for me, my life is more than either I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. There might be times when I'm doing a little bit of something or that things shift around. And so it's not so black and white where I'm either in it or not in it. The other part about goals is they tend to be rather uninspiring. They are focused on things that are outside of our controls, metrics, numbers, other circumstances. And because of that, it can be disempowering actually for some people because when you focus on things that are external to what you have control over, then you're always chasing something, but you don't really know if what you're doing is going to hit it or not. So I encourage people to really focus on things that are within their control. And there's only two things. There's your actions and your attitude. And if you focus on your actions, what are those things that are going to be needle moving for you? What are things that are going to advance you? And your attitude as far as how you show up, then you're going to hit those metrics a lot more easily, and you're going to have a lot more fun doing it than when you're focusing on things outside of you. The other thing about goals is that they tend to keep you within your comfort zone. So you're looking for maybe a 5% stretch with goals a lot of times. And for people that are on a mission, this is really your business, your baby. It's something that is your creation. You are looking for more than a 3 to 5% stretch. Smart goals were created for corporate America, where people were doing just barely enough to maintain a paycheck and their jobs. And corporate America realized that they were losing millions of dollars of shareholder dividends with people doing the bare minimum. If they were able to encourage them to doing that 3 to 5% more, it would be millions of dollars in revenue for their shareholders, which would make them happy. But that's not what we're doing. We're looking for something bigger than that. So who you are today is not the person who's going to achieve that end result of the down the road. You have to grow into that person. So I want you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. And instead of that 3 to 5%, it's looking for maybe 20% or 30% of a stretch to be able to hit that next milestone. And the other reason that I really feel that goals aren't quite right is because it's usually based upon something that is achievable. Like I said, that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for doing something that other people haven't done, or people are saying, who do you think you are to do that? What gives you that, authority or capability of doing that? We want to do something that people question. And that's when I know that you're actually tuned into something that's a mission, is when other people question whether it's even achievable or possible. So I encourage my clients to shift from goal setting over to a vision. And a vision is where you have this dream about doing something, but you have no clue whether it's achievable. It's not realistic. It's similar to John F. Kennedy creating that space race where we were against the Soviet Union, and they already put a cosmonaut up into space and we hadn't done anything. And John F. Kennedy wanted our country to rally something behind. So he said we were going to be the first to have a lunar landing. And he went for it. Now, when he did that in 1960, the materials for being able to get an astronaut up into space, let alone back, hadn't even been invented yet. He had no clue whether we could do that, let alone get someone there and safely return them without any catastrophes. So that's what I want your mission to be, is what's your space race? What is it that you might not have all the materials for yet? You might not have all the expertise or the know-how yet, but you feel that you're being pulled in this direction and you have no choice but to say yes. And that's what a vision does. It gets you excited. You're compelled to do it. It is not fully based upon logic, but you see yourself achieving it, even though you might not know all the how to. But it's that mission that keeps you going. And I know that Ingrid has a lot to say about mission. And it's what she wants to talk about is really that thing that inspires you to stand instead of faltering. So Ingrid, please go ahead and take it away.
Thanks so much, Lauren. So I loved everything that you were having to say. I actually wrote an article that hasn't been published yet. For those of you who are falling between Wall and Main, it's a fantastic online publication. And I wrote an article just last week on why I hate SMART goals. So yeah, we were very much in alignment as far as those things go. And the people who say that something can't be done need to get out of the way of the people who are doing it. And that's what we're talking about here today, is how to get out of our own way. And one of the biggest things for us to think about as we are visionary entrepreneurs, we are business owners, is how to build that solid foundation. I have a lot of business owners coming to me asking for the process and the one quick fix, the app or the system that they can employ that's going to help take their business to the next level, help them gain new clients. And I got to tell you, it's not a pill that you can just take and have it fixed overnight. The one thing that I have noticed that is consistent across the board with the difference that defines and separates the business owners that are successful and happy and thriving from the business owners that are struggling to make ends meet, if they're even making ends meet. The difference between thriving and surviving comes down to the investment that you are willing to make in your own personal growth and education. And that personal growth really starts with who you are as a person, knowing yourself and accepting yourself and loving yourself and being able to take that to the next level and show that true authentic self to the people around you, including and especially your teammates and your clients. So that self-exploration, there are a lot of great tools out there for getting to know yourself better so that you know how you can fit into your business, how you can take yourself to the next level. One of my favorite tools is Predictable Success, and you can learn a little bit more about Predictable Success at predictablesuccess.com. And I'm going to type that into the chat really quick. predictablesuccess.com. So that's a website that you can go to learn more about this particular system. And a lot of the keys that Lauren was just talking about are how to lead your business as a visionary. And most of us, if we started a business, we started the business as an owner-operator and end up growing into being more of a visionary over time and really understanding what your vision is. It's not about what you do. It's not about, for me, I have a bookkeeping business. It's not about the bookkeeping. It's about making the world a better place built on a foundation of thriving small businesses. That's why I do what I do. So asking yourself, what is your why? And what are the roadblocks that you're encountering that are getting in the way of that big vision? I learned vision setting from the fantastic Joe Woodard of the Woodard Institute. He's a fantastic educator of bookkeepers and accountants. And really focusing on that why helps you get past a lot of the roadblocks that we encounter. And he likes to call it the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. Joe says that if your vision can be achieved by you alone in your lifetime, it's not big enough. Think bigger. And that's why we need to find something that really drives us. And that vision is an intersection of who you are as a person, really knowing yourself and bringing that self to the greater world. Who you are, your higher principle. What do you believe in outside of just yourself? There's something bigger than you out there. What is it that you believe in? And how does that mix with who you are? And third, what legacy do you want to leave behind? What impact do you want to have on the world around you? Our entire lives on this earth, our purpose here on this planet is all about connecting in one way or another with other living things. And whether your why is rooted in helping other business owners, helping people in some other way, or helping plants and animals, the main thing that we are seeking is connection and learning and growing through interaction and connection with other living things on this planet. So one of the best ways that you can take that why and use it to find your ideal clients, to find your ideal team members, is to focus on finding your echo chamber. The echo chamber is a really great term that I learned from Damien Greathead. He leads Receipt Bank, which is a great app here in North America. It's an international app, but he focuses on North America. And he talked about finding your echo chamber and really focusing on locating those people with whom your message resonates. And it resonates so well that they're going to sing it back to you and then sing it to the heavens, whether that be on social media or to their friends, whatever the case may be. Those people who truly resonate with your why on a deeper level, that is your true target market. A lot of people have a narrow view of target market of, oh, I best work with female business owners between the age of 25 and 45. Right, okay, so how many of those female business owners between the age of 25 and 45 are your echo chamber? By focusing on having deeper relationships with our clients, a lot of people say, oh, it's just business, it's not personal. That's not how it goes. This is very personal. This is your life. This is what you're spending most of your time, day after day, doing. And you're focusing on your clients' lives, on serving your customers. Those things are extremely personal. And the more personal we make them, the deeper we can have those connections and the more we can build loyalty-based relationships. And it is all focused on that why. And when you focus on the why and make those loyalty-based relationships come to you, getting to yes with those clients and customers is easy because they want to work with you. They want to play with you. It's no longer about work. It's about doing something that we love together. I don't have to sell ever. I never sell anything. It's not about selling. It's about making connections. So if one of the things that you're getting stuck on is how you can land that new client and make that next sale, if you're struggling to bring in those ideal clients, then reframe that discussion and focus on the why. And one of the easiest ways to weed out the wheat from the chaff is by bringing more of your true, authentic, vulnerable self to the table. That's one of the pieces that Lauren brought up early on, and that's why we named this call Breaking the Mask. By getting past those masks and focusing on your true, authentic, vulnerable self and bringing that true, authentic, vulnerable self through your why into the conversation with your clients, your colleagues, and your team members, you will have deeper, longer lasting, loyalty-based relationships that are more fulfilling, more enjoyable, and more profitable. Do you have anything to add on that, Lauren?
Wow. I love it. Your passion just really comes through, and really agree with that you're saying. Would love to hear some comments from other people in the chat also about what's coming up for them as we're sharing this information. What I see is that when you marry your why with your vision, you are a powerhouse. And one of the reasons that I think it's so important for us to be able to do that is because there's going to be obstacles as you go in your business. I know for me that there's times where it's good, it's bad, and other times when it's downright ugly. And during those times, I don't want to stay in the ugly for too long. That's when I've realized that I have more questions than I have answers. And it's reaching out to the people that I have connections with, whether it's my own business coach, because I continue to get coaching myself. It's not a one and done thing, but also to the people that are in my inner circle, figuring out from them, what do they do? What do they see that I could be doing differently, so that I'm always moving forward and having better awareness and understanding of how to really stay aligned. And when we connect our vision with our mission and that why that you're talking about, Ingrid, it activates a part of our brain based upon neuroscience that I've studied called the reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system is like your inner GPS. So think about going to your friend Susie's house that is in the next state, and you've never been there before to Susie's house, but you have her address. So you put it into your GPS, and it's going to tell you how many miles to stay on the freeway and which exit to get off of and when to turn right and when to go straight and around the corner. And then you eventually arrive at her house. Our brain has that too. And this is what you want to do is you want to think about what is that vision of success for you? What would be that defining moment that if you arrived at this, you see it in your dream, it's like that lunar landing and finally planting the flag on the moon. What would that be for you? And really look at it in the here and now. Make it present tense as if it's happening right in this moment. And that's because your brain's unable to discriminate between reality and dreams. When you're in dreams, you are so there, you're experiencing it. So if you make your vision in the present moment, your brain will think that it's happening right now also. So what is that defining moment for you? And really tune into that. And as you're tuning into that, connect with what is it that you see. You know, look around you and what do you see around you as you achieve that defining moment of success for yourself. What do you hear? Do you hear people congratulating you? Do you hear people cheering you on, clapping for you? Just imagine all the sounds that are happening as you've achieved that defining moment for yourself. Maybe there's taste. It could be that you taste having a parched throat because you've been talking with so much passion and driving others to really see and sharing your vision. Or it could be the salt of tears that you taste. Maybe it's the taste of champagne in celebration. So think about that. And what do you feel? Do you feel your feet firmly grounded on the floor? Do you feel people giving you hugs in celebration, handshakes? Think about that. And then finally, I missed one more sense. I can't think of what it is. Oh, smell.
Smell.
What do you smell? Are you smelling indoor air conditioning or heating? Or are you smelling the fresh air outside? And just have all your senses engaged in that defining moment. That is what you want your vision to be, is alive, as if you finally planted that flag on the moon and you achieved the lunar mission. You were the first to win the space race. And knowing that, along with why you're doing it, why you continue to stay focused on that vision of success when obstacles arose, when challenges happened, when unexpected things got in the way and sidetracked you. And that's the importance of the mission and being connected to it and having it connected to your vision, is that they're married. They need each other. Your mission needs a clear vision, and your vision needs a really profound mission of why you're doing it. So Ingrid, that's what's coming up for me as to really how to get past that doubt and resistance and really stay focused when the obstacles come up. Anything that you'd like to add to that?
Absolutely. So getting more into vision and mission, what Lauren was just saying, the three things that are kind of married together, it's three levels. There's vision, there's mission, and there's purpose. And we talked about vision being the why you do what you do. Your mission is how you're doing that vision. Your mission is how you are bringing that vision to reality. And then purpose is the really clear, concise statement that brings all of that together. It is the client focused statement, 5 words or less, that you want to have be the first thing that people see when they get to your website, is your purpose statement. When you land on polymath.com, I'm hoping that the first thing you see is empower your passion. That is our purpose statement. That is what we are working to do, is empower the passion of all the other business owners out there. That's what we are passionate about. And by living through vision, mission, and purpose and bringing that to your clients, it helps us to find that echo chamber, to find that group of people that we're really seeking, which helps us get past those doubts and those sales hiccups, any obstacle that we're encountering. And I want to bring attention really quick back to the chat window because Stacy said something really great. She said, I'm reinventing myself from being an unpaid consultant in a family business. It's changing my understanding of my own value and contribution and taking active steps to implement the ideas in my business and my clients' businesses. That is so fantastic, Stacy. And by having that understanding in place of how you're going about activating your vision in your life right now and being focused on that, it sets your reticular activating system, like Lauren was just talking about. You've got solid intention in what you're doing, and you've got your GPS set on not just a goal, but on the bigger picture dream. And that is what is so huge. And I love that you're able to get vulnerable with us on this call and let us know that you're in the midst right now of reinventing yourself. And I want to reflect that right back at you and let you know I'm doing the same thing every day. We are all building the plane of business as we fly it, one step at a time. Lauren talks about the lunar mission. Here we are in business. There is no really clear, simple how-to that everyone has just sort of figured out. You've got to learn some of this by trial and error. And we are building this rocket ship in the air with chewing gum and duct tape. And it's a lot of fun. And sometimes it can be painful. Sometimes we end up having a wing fall off unexpectedly, and we figure it out as we go. The main thing is that we're doing it and it's working. Success is messy, really, really messy. And if anyone ever tells you otherwise, they're lying. Plain and simple. You're all doing a really great job. Oh, Stacy, she says, tears. Thank you so much. Lynn also says, my daughter likes the chewing gum and duct tape. Thanks, Ingrid. So yes, success is really, really messy. We're all figuring this out as we go. And what's amazing to me is that I currently have a bunch of accountants and bookkeepers looking at my little 3-person bookkeeping firm, which won awards over the last year, and asking for advice on how to take their firms to the next level. And where we all are in this journey, our personal, authentic, messy success is individual to each of us. And wherever you are, it's fine. And reframing that conversation and putting that information out there and allowing that information to connect you on a deeper level with your colleagues, with your clients, through the vulnerability, breaking the mask, letting your true self shine through, whatever that self may be. That is so important. I met a bunch of bookkeepers and accountants at the Scaling New Heights conference in May, and many of the people I was talking to were still hiding to a certain extent. They were afraid to bridge the gap between their personal lives, what they enjoy on a deeper personal level, and their professional lives. And yes, there are certain things that we don't want to do as far as, professionalism goes. We're not going to sit here in a recording with you and start talking about religion and politics because we end up alienating our audience. And I'm going to really try to refrain from having a potty mouth because I know some people are offended by that. Nonetheless, if I weren't on a call with you guys right now, I'd probably be cussing. It's a thing. So those sorts of pieces that bring our individual flair out. I love meeting professionals that have the just most fantastic off-the-wall fashion in their clothes and their hair, and they're not afraid to let that inner spark shine. Whatever that inner spark might be for you, bring it out. Find what it is you're truly passionate about on a personal level and bring it out in some way in your professional level, because it will set you apart. Mike Michalowicz of Profit First often talks about how better is not better, different is better. It's not about setting yourself apart from the competition by having just better services. You want to make sure that you are separating yourself from the other people who are doing what you're doing because you're different. And those differences are what is going to attract your echo chamber to you specifically instead of just to another person who does what you do. Anything to add to that, Lauren?
I'm just taking some of those highlights that you're talking about and putting it out there on the chat about success is messy, absolutely a motto that I live by. And also looking at how you're different from other people, what other people are doing, what makes you unique and special, because you are doing it differently than everybody else. And we want you to do it your way as opposed to some other person's way. Well, one of the things I've seen for myself, as well as the people I work more closely with, my clients, is that the person you are today is not that person who's going to finally achieve that defining moment of success. As your business grows, you grow with it. And I've seen so much growth happen with people in a really short period of time when they are connected to that mission and they have a vision of what they want to do. And they realize that they've either veered off their vision or that they were afraid to claim their vision. And really looking at how they started to overthink things, how overwhelm was getting in the way, how they actually created something that was a job and just a grind for them. And part of that passion was lost. So what I would say for yourself is that we all have stuff that we've learned from other people, from our environment, from culture, from messages that we've received about why we can't do something. And I am sure if you tapped into a memory of when you were younger, of when you wanted to do something that was really important to you, and everybody else, your mom, your dad, everybody else around you said, no, you can't do that. You can't have that. You can't, who do you think you are? And you didn't let that get in your way. That was your experience. That's your cellular memory of being connected to a vision and a mission. And that you were going to go for it anyway. You were determined. Nothing was going to stop you because you had to do whatever was necessary no matter what. And it wasn't so much about whether you achieved that thing or not, even though that was your focus and your driver. It was more that you put in the effort. You gave it everything that you had. You were passionately driven to move forward. And it was the satisfaction of knowing that you did as much as you possibly could to achieve that thing that really made a difference. And that's what I want you to take as far as an older memory of something that you maybe were working towards, and you wouldn't let other people stop you. You weren't willing to accept no as an answer, and apply that to your business and what you're doing now. And as you're doing that, you're going to start to see that stuff is going to come up for you. It comes up for me too. As far as sometimes it feels like there's a struggle. Sometimes it feels like it's really difficult. When those things are happening, what's usually occurring is you have two opposing values underneath that are like colliding atoms. They're colliding with each other. One party wants to move forward and another party is holding back, digging your foot into the sand. At that point, I would say just get quiet and really tune into what do you feel is getting in the way, what's stopping you. It's usually a belief, a thought, an experience that you might have had that you don't want to challenge or don't even recognize that you can challenge. And be willing to look at that and examine it and recognize that at that other point in your life, it probably served a purpose. But does it still serve a purpose today? Is it helping you or hindering you? Mm-hmm. And if it's not serving a purpose right now, then let's look at how to be able to create another reality. But what I do with my clients as well as with myself is recognize that when I have these two opposing values going on, I really listen within as to what's happening to figure out where that disconnect is coming from. And I start to ask questions to be able to see if there's a way to work around it or another perception or someone else that's maybe achieving that goal in a different way than I am. And then I use what I call reframes, which is how to turn a negative into a positive. So instead of holding me back, everything is now aligned and I'm moving forward. And what happens to be able to get that alignment and move forward is coming up with a way of looking at it differently, but one that feels that it's genuine and aligned with who I am and how I show up. And once you have that, that's when the resistance usually melts away. So I'd love for you to really think about that, how to do it your way. This is where we get to break the mask and do it your way. As Ingrid was saying, if you want to have blue hair, have blue hair. If you want to have piercings and you're a bookkeeper, then absolutely express yourself, because there are people who are going to love the fact that you want to show up and be genuine and your authentic you, as opposed to really being what you think other people want you to be, but it's not serving yourself or serving them. So tabulated consulting, Tracy was saying, rebelling as a child means rebelling against your own challenges as an adult. And that she uses that analogy to get out of her own way. I love that you continue to be rebellious. And it helps you to face whatever fear you're struggling with, and recognizing, yes, it is a work in progress. You never have fully arrived. You're always taking one step forward and growing, learning, shifting things and moving things around. And that's one of the reasons why I encourage you to have a vision instead of goals, is because a vision is alive. As soon as you've achieved one milestone, all of your priorities change, because you've all of a sudden arrived at a place that you've never been at before. Things came up that you didn't know. You realized things that you couldn't have anticipated until you arrived at this moment in time. So really look at where you hold yourself back. What are the thoughts? What are the beliefs? What are the opposing values that are keeping you stuck? And be open and get curious about how can you work around it so that you can continue to move forward with your mission and your vision. Ingrid, anything that you would like to add to that?
Yes, I want to give an awesome shout out to Lynn, who says we need to stop listening to negative of others and start listening to the positive within ourselves. And that is so huge. There's so many times that people say that we can't do things. And by giving more voice to the dreams and the passion, that's how we get out of our own way and become innovators. And Stacy, once again, you're rocking my world today. She says, how do I know if I'm afraid to claim my vision? And that's fantastic. I love that question. Great job, Stacy, putting that out there. I have found that when I'm terrified of something, when I am shaking in my boots, it means I'm going the right way. And that is a really, really hard thing to come to terms with. There is nothing comfortable about following our vision with passion. We've got to take some risks. And some of us aren't huge risk takers. And it's one of the pieces that you'll learn if you visit predictablesuccess.com. She says, that's when I run like double toothpicks. H-E double toothpicks. Yeah. So, Stacy, from what I know of you, having met you at Scaling New Heights and things like that, and seen some of the awesome work you're doing in some of the Facebook groups that we both chat on, I would guess that you might be a fairly high processor in predictable success. And processors naturally fear risk. You are wonderful when it comes to the systems analysis and those sorts of things. There are really great tools out there that can help you learn how to find your vision and get some of those fears out of your way and really live in your strengths as a strong systems analyst and a really fantastic bookkeeper and accountant, while still ensuring that you're following your dreams and not getting in your own way in following those passions. And it sounds really clearly like you're on the right track. And the main thing is that if you're experiencing anxiety, that's a good thing. If we're afraid, if we've got that shaking going through us, that is the energy of our passion coming up to challenge us. And when we step outside our comfort zone, that's when we experience the most potential for growth. We've got several pieces still coming in here. Let's see here. Hopefully we're running toward it instead of away from it, says Lauren. Tracy says, it's the train we're all on. Fake it till you make it, says Stacy. Yep, lots of great things. Oh, and Lauren has a great saying about being a fake. Do you want to share that, Lauren?
Absolutely, but I'll share it in the PG format as opposed to the R-rated one. So if you're afraid of being a fake, I have an acronym for being a fake. It's friggin' awesome kick butt entrepreneur.
Frickin', right. Yay. Yes, exactly right. If you're afraid that somebody's going to start questioning you and kick you off your mountaintop, that's a big fear that I have constantly. And it's been something that I've been talking with my colleagues a lot about lately. And Lynn says, I agree, when I'm scared, I push through always and have great rewards. When I back away from being scared, I end up being disappointed in the results. Yes. And those fears that get in our way when we're struggling with those inner pieces, we can rely on our colleagues and our coaches to bring us to the next level. And Lynn, I've got to let you know, next to my desk right here, there's a piece of paper. And this piece of paper is in Lynn's handwriting on Scaling New Heights Atlantis parchment. And it's got reminders from me from Lynn about strengths of mine that I often forget about. And thank you so much, Lynn, for being part of that for me. It's huge. We build each other up. And that's the big piece, coming back around to that one thing I was talking about that defines and separates thriving from surviving, is focusing on our own personal growth, on our own continuing education, and making the choice to invest in that. One way or another. You know, there's a couple people on this call that I met at Scaling New Heights, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Thank you so much for coming. So if you're on this call, it's because you've made the choice to invest in your continuing education, to invest in your own personal growth, to make sure that you're on that right path. You are taking the steps, and that is huge and important. And I encourage you to continue taking those steps. And we have some other investment opportunities, if you're interested, coming up. Lauren and I are actually doing a full day dive deep intensive on July 15th. And it's the first time we've done it quite in this format, because the last time Lauren and I gave our business growth blueprint class together, it was local here in Southern Oregon. We had a good handful of people attend, but we had quite a few people saying, wow, I wish that was in my area. Well, this time we're doing it as a combination of live and over Zoom, and setting up a webcam on top of this gigantic TV in a conference room so that everyone on Zoom can see everyone in the conference room, everyone in the conference room can see everyone on Zoom. And we really want to give voice to your experiences, taking the things that we're talking about today to the next level, focusing on those fears, focusing on setting the vision, and really getting to those next steps. And I encourage you, whether it be with us on July 15th or whatever next upcoming thing Lauren and I may be playing in, or following any other investment in yourself, reading a book, finding a webinar, choose something today, directly following this call, and find a way to invest in yourself, because you are worth it. You are the foundation of your business. And if you don't find that value in yourself and your services, it's really hard to bring that value out to your clients and sell yourself. It's not about selling. It's about understanding the value. It's about following those dreams, finding that passion, reframing that discussion from a perspective of a lack and poverty mindset, thinking about why I've got to make that next sale, up to really connecting with other people about our mutual passions. And that's what Lauren and I really enjoy doing. And I'm so happy that we get to connect with all of you today.
So Ingrid, I would love to just add a little bit because I am passionate about helping entrepreneurs really be able to step up where they would normally step back, and talk a little bit more about the business growth blueprint that we're doing on the 15th. Basically what I've seen is that you are the best investment that you can make in yourself. And that if there's things coming up for you that are uncomfortable, then you absolutely ought to be doing it. But a lot of times you can't figure out the way forward because you're just too close to it. And it's that outside set of eyes and having something that's in community that gives you ideas and inspiration, but also helps you map out those exact next steps to really achieve what it is that you want for yourself. And that's what Ingrid and I really are looking at, is to really help you deeply connect with your vision as well as your mission during the retreat. And once we do that, we're going to help you look at how to do things in a way that feels genuine and authentic for you. So what are the pieces you need to help you connect with where you want to go and where you are right now, and in a way that feels like it works with you and there's flow as opposed to resistance. And then finally, what we're going to look at is how to really step up as a leader. Even if it's just leading your mission, leading towards your vision, and you don't have a staff, that's really okay. But really how to step up as the CEO in your business. And the fantastic part about this retreat is that it lets you step away from spending a day working in your business to really spending a day working on your business, getting that bigger picture. I do this with my own clients in Mastermind. I do this for myself when I go to Mastermind retreats with my coach. And being able to step away from your business and really putting things out there, getting input not only from us, but from the other people that are participating, and really owning what it is that you want for yourself and how you want to deeply serve your clients is going to help move the needle forward so much faster than if you tried figuring it all out on your own. So, I would say, what is the cost of not doing it and stepping in? And because I so deeply want you to be able to say yes to yourself with this, if you go ahead and sign up during this call, it's so today only offer. Ingrid didn't even know I was going to be making an offer, but I want to go ahead and give you that incentive. So if you go ahead and register for the Business Success Growth Blueprint today, and the URL is in the chat, is businesssuccesssolution.com/blueprint. What I'm going to go ahead and include as a bonus today only is a 30-minute private one-on-one session with me where I can help you clarify what is your vision, what's getting in the way, and what you can do and that you're excited about to be able to move forward and take those inspired steps. That 30-minute, half-hour time with me, you will be amazed at how much we can cover, and that has a $249 value right there. So I just wanted to sweeten the incentive and hope that somebody will go ahead. If you're thinking about this, it's calling to you, go ahead and say yes to yourself. You deserve it. Ingrid, anything else that you want to cover before we wrap up?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Thank you, Lauren, for offering that wonderful incentive. And I would love to up the ante just a little bit by let me know, Lauren, if anybody does sign up today, and I will add in my white paper on personality profile tools. Like we were talking about, predictable success is one of my favorites. I've got a couple others, DISC profile, Myers-Briggs, and there's some really fantastic resources. And I've got a handout that I enjoy giving out on those wonderful tools so that we can have that for getting to know ourselves better and knowing what our next steps are. And I would love to share that with anybody who signs up for our class today. So toss that in there. And then also I want to invite everybody who's on the call to please, in these last few minutes, post any questions that may be coming up for you so that we can make sure that we are giving you something that you really have to take away from this. Or if you've already gotten a big aha moment to take away, please share that with the group. I would absolutely love to hear what everyone's big aha moment was, or if you've got a next step question, what that next step question is for you. And we might be able to take that into our blueprint class in a couple of weeks.
And if anybody wanted to ask a question directly about what we're offering or what's coming up for them, is there a way that they can actually unmute and we can talk with them directly?
Sure, absolutely. The best way to do that is to raise a hand. So there's a button at the bottom of your screen that says raise hand, and that way I know to unmute you if you want to talk to the group. Yay.
And well, people might be thinking about their question. I would say no question is right or wrong, too small, too big. If it's coming up for you, it's coming up for other people too. And one of the things that Ingrid was talking about earlier is what I realized for me, I became a competitive rower at 44 years old. And it's when I really started getting out of my comfort zone. It's also when I was shifting from being a therapist to a business coach. And I recognized that in order to be the best person, the best teammate I possibly could be, there's things I had to be able to do differently and be able to look at differently, get out of my own way. And that's when I recognized that if it wasn't comfortable, I absolutely ought to be doing it. By having that awareness, it let me actually lean into things that I would have normally resisted or moved away from because they felt like too much of a risk, or I couldn't figure out all the how-to steps in between. And I have found that because of that, I've grown so much and have done so much more. Even doing the Zoom video with Ingrid. When I first started, I had a fear of public speaking. And it was by stepping into those things that were uncomfortable that are the game changers for you. And you have to be able to know what is it that you're ready to do to really change your game and really claim what it is that is connected to your mission and your vision. Absolutely. So Ingrid, anybody that has a question or raise their hand?
I think that what Lynn said just really resounds with what you were just saying. She said, I agree. When I'm scared and I push through, I always have great rewards. When I back away from being scared, I end up being disappointed in the results. And that is so fantastic, Lynn. And now she also just said, just wanted to say Ingrid gave huge inspiration at Scaling New Heights. I also heard a saying, wealth cannot happen individually. I was an island and now I'm part of a huge community. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn. And Stacy says, so I'm not going to move forward until I do what's hard for me to do. And I can't find a raise hand button. Uh-oh. I believe it's in the participants window.
Do we need to unmute everybody? Would that be why? Or
I can go ahead and unmute you, Stacy. Let me just open up participants. Unmute. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
Hello there.
Great.
So, Stacy, is there something that you wanted to just add to the conversation?
I don't think so. I think I just wanted to let you guys know that I was looking for it and I couldn't find that actual button. So.
Oh, okay.
I can't find it either.
This has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. And Lynn, was there something that you wanted to share also? You just wanted to let us know that the raise hand button is gone, disappeared. Well, you know what? It sounds like we covered a ton of stuff. We looking at why your goals aren't enough, how to really stay inspired instead of faltering, getting past doubt and resistance, and how to really grow with your business. I so appreciate all of you carving out the time to be here with us. Hope that you move forward with us and join us on July 15th at the Business Growth Blueprint. And Ingrid, thank you. Thank you for teaming up with me so we can partner once more and help people really step up where it's connected with their mission and their vision.
Thank you so much, Lauren, and thank all of you so much for coming and joining us today and helping us fulfill our vision of helping you. Have a great day, and we hope we get to see you again soon.
Bye.